Hey guys, it's Postbox Pat. Welcome back to a brand new Fortnite Battle Royale map change video and storyline video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking everything new which has been added in today's update. And to be honest, there's quite a few things which I just didn't expect. And straight away, we also have a lot of stuff going on in Fortnite Battle Royale. Yesterday, as we know, the cube got added in and a bunch of map changes got added as well. But it looks like Fortnite have again increased the amount of map changes happening every single week. And we have some more map changes to go over and point out in today's video. So let's get straight into this and show you guys where we are at. But don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you're new around here. It means the world to me. If you guys haven't already subscribed, hit that big red button. We're so close to 450,000 subscribers. Thank you everyone who's doing that. So let's get straight into this and show you guys where we are at. So I know I've just said that, but oh well. Here we are at with the brand new beacons. So these beacons are pretty cool. We've got one beacon on this truck right here, and we've got one beacon inside of this container right here. It's quite interesting to see that the visitor has crafted two beacons. Either this is a complete glitch or it is crafting two beacons for some apparent reason, which I think is really cool to consider, because maybe he's trying to do something else. He's not just trying to produce one beacon to do one thing, but maybe he's going to do two locations. Maybe he's going to do two locations at once and kind of craft something or form something giant with that. Who knows? But it's pretty cool to see what's going on. I'll talk a little bit further about the visitor stuff in a minute. We'll come back to this, but just right now, here's the map change just for those wondering what is going on. Yes, the visitor has crafted a bunch of stuff. We'll come back to that though, because there's a lot of theories and stuff which I want to go over about potentially what's going to be happening with that. Next up, we've got the cube island. Now it looks like the cube island is rotating around the map and could potentially play a huge part in the ending of Season X. As you can see, the island itself has now rotated itself over to the bridge over here, and you can see it's kind of about to cross this area and maybe head towards Pleasant Park. As we saw in the trailer yesterday, the floating island was over at Pleasant Park, so we know that it is rotating around the map, and even Fortnite confirmed it in the changelog. So it's quite obvious that that's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to cause a huge map change or if it's just here. Maybe it's just going to go all the way around, it's going to come back and just disappear again, or it's going to go back through one of the portals or just land maybe at Loot Lake again. Who knows what's going to happen with it, but it's definitely cool to finally see it come back into the game and slowly start going around the map. Welcome back, Kevin. And obviously this is the map change which is happening every single hour. The island is moving further and further around the map, and we can see the whole entire structure right here is completely messed. And yes, I think this was before it got hit by the meteor, the motel sign. Someone commented that in yesterday's video, but obviously the Dirt Burger was after Season 5 or during Season 5 when it got removed. Between Season 4 and 5 it got removed, and obviously Drift painted that on the Season 5 trailer. And then we have the Lonely Lodge sign which went in Season 4. I mentioned all this yesterday, but just some quick overviews for people out there. And also the noms as well, which got removed at Retail Row as well, with one of the kind of portals slash rifts which took place back in Season 4. Okay, so the next map changes have to be one of the craziest map changes I've seen in Fortnite Battle Royale for a while, and this is actually Pennywise. He's actually in Fortnite Battle Royale right now from the film It 2. I believe it's a collaboration between them. I don't know if anything else is going to get added in at this point relating to them, but we officially have two of Pennywise's balloons popping up in Pleasant Park. And I think this is really cool, so if you just wait for my character to render it in, for some reason, again, with this sort of map change, you have to physically render it in. There's quite a few map changes that do this because obviously they've not had a direct patch to cause these to consistently render in. But there's balloons. There's now one balloon by this car, by this brick house here, and there is another balloon by the old modern house. Now it's really cool if we switch the gameplay over to the in-game footage. If you actually break these, take a listen to the sound you guys can hear. So the sound of these balloons being popped is obviously based around Pennywise himself with his little laugh, and that's kind of like an Easter egg. I don't know if Fortnite will make an official collaboration between these, or if it's just going to be a little hint slash Easter egg. As we know, with the Wreck-It Ralph side of stuff, they did give away a free dance, it was, and obviously the only thing we had with Wreck-It Ralph in the game was his kind of picture on At Risky Reels. I think that'll be the same with the It collaboration. I don't think they'll do anything too major because they don't want to scare all of their fans. I think we'll probably just see an emote, maybe a skin, maybe something like that. I don't think we'll see Pennywise though, because I think Pennywise itself as a skin might be a bit too scary. We've already got the scary clowns in the game, so I don't think they'll add any more clowns, but we'll have to see. It'd be funny if they do add Pennywise, but I don't know if they will. Pennywise is pretty scary in my eyes, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. And I know a lot of you guys out there do know it. I don't know if you've seen it. I know it is a 15 rating, so do advise yourself on that, because it's kind of one of them, and just be aware that it is a 15 rating. But it's interesting to see that Fortnite are collaborating with that. As we know, they did do a collaboration with John Wick, which was a 15 rating as well, so maybe that's why they've done this. And Borderlands itself is an 18 rating, but then again, all of the collaborations they've done haven't shown any content which is 15 or 18. It's just using a character from that film or game. So quite an interesting concept there, and it's definitely worth noting as well if you are thinking of maybe even following up the collaboration, which I don't know if many of you guys do, but if you do, I think it just brings awareness to it really generally, just as a general factor, I guess. Okay, so moving back onto the theories around the visitor himself with the beacons, this is something which is major for the storyline. Now, as we know, the visitor is crafting 2 brand new beacons in the Fortnite Battle Royale map, and there are so many theories going around on where these beacons could potentially go. A lot of people are coming up with theories saying that they're going to bring back Flush Factories, they're going to bring back Anarchy Acres / Lazy Links, they're going to bring back loads of locations at these points of interest, even potentially the return of our famous Polar Peak and the castle over there, and even Greasy Grove, which would make perfect sense. Now, as we know, the bubbles in each area are actually different sizes. For example, the one over at the actual sand biome in Paradise Palms for the Borderlands event is actually massive, the bubble, whereas the one at Tilted Town is a little bit smaller. The actual bubble we have, which isn't exactly a bubble, but the gravitational field which we have over at Loot Lake is a lot smaller as well, and a few other things as well. As we know, we have the actual Cube Island itself, which is kind of got a bubble or rift above it, which is moving around with it, which is really small as well. So interesting stuff. I think with that kind of rift above it, it kind of means that it's just going to teleport out at some point and may not even play a huge part in the event, but we'll have to wait and see. I can't 100% confirm that. So what people were saying was the week 1 change was the OG season 1 Dusty Depot factories, which we can see right here. Then the week 2 changes was something from season 2, which obviously there wasn't anything, so that would have been the Tilted Town. Then they said how the week 3 was themed around season 3 with Retail Row. Not 100%, but this is just a comment which I saw, which was pretty cool. Then they said how season 4 was around Hot Rocks, which I guess it kind of was, because we had the actual area over by the football field get added in, and obviously that completely broke the whole thing. Like, the bubble just completely disappeared, it completely exploded, and we have so many glitched items going on over there. Then at week 5 we have the desert update, which kind of relates to season 5, which was Paradise Palms over by the Borderlands section over there. And then for week 6 we have the floating island, which was obviously a huge part in the Fortnite storyline during season 6 when the cube was introduced into its floating island format. As you guys know, at the start of season 6, which was this time last year, the Halloween event took place, and the cube managed to transform itself into that crazy floating island which flies around the map today, which is so exciting to see it return. So I guess week 7 potentially could be something to do with the snow biome, which I think it will be. I do think the rift beacons which he is crafting currently, the visitor, could have a huge relationship with the snow biome over here, potentially returning Flush Factories, Greasy Grove, Polar Peak, and even some OG kind of greenery over here, because obviously it's completely snowy. It may cut out an area, may even go back in time before the land was even green and bring back like a desert, or even more of like a kind of a muddy type biome, like a forest type thing. I think that would be pretty cool as well. So week 7 would make perfect sense for that. Obviously with week 7 we know that the actual Wailing Woods itself was destroyed as well right at the end. Sorry, why did I say week 7? Season 7, this will be taking place in week 7. We know that season 7, Wailing Woods was destroyed leading up to season 8, so potentially again that could be a part of this. But there are 2 rift beacons. Who knows what he's going to do with this? Obviously the rift beacons can cover a huge area. We've seen that in the past, how big they can cover, for example with the Borderlands one and the one over at Retail Row. What's really cool about the Borderlands one, and something for you guys to note, is we only have 5 days left on the Borderlands event, and the Borderlands beacon still remains inside of the Borderlands area. Now unfortunately I don't think this will render in because I'm not in this area right now, but you guys have seen it in my previous videos. The beacon still remains on the road over here, and you can actually still see it if you come and land in this section. So feel free to come and land over here because the beacon still remains, and obviously that's really good news for us Borderlands fans and just Fortnite fans in general, because Borderlands will eventually be removed out of the game, which I guess isn't that good news, but it kind of is because the Borderlands gets released to the public, Borderlands 3 at that time, and then obviously we will get maybe even Moisty Mire returning here because the Rift Beacon is still activated, or it could go back to its old format. Probably not though, it'll probably get changed into Moisty Mire. So that potentially means that during week 7, we may see 3 brand new map changes. One being Moisty Mire, one being something at Polar Peak and the Ice Biome, and even Wailing Woods. I think this is crazy information and crazy news for you guys, knowing that in a few days' time, in 5 days' time, when the next update drops, we will see some major map changes. It's cool to see that Visitor has crafted a total of these. He'll have 3 now deployed all over the map of these rift beacons. I can't wait to see what he's going to do. We could get them in like kind of like a triangle format. They could kind of bring something together. It could turn the entire of Paradise Palms into Moisty Mire. They are that big. And seeing though that we saw the prison get re-added into creative recently, it does also hint to me that the prison could be coming back into Fortnite Battle Royale, which was just located on the outskirts of Moisty Mire, roughly where I am flying right now. So the prison would spawn back in here, and then we get the classic Moisty Mire running around the back side. I still don't think many people would land at Moisty Mire though. It was a very dead location with a total of roughly 8 to 9 chests. There wasn't many at all. Then you'd rotate prison, get about 4 to 5 chests there, and you wouldn't actually end up with that much stuff. However, the loot runs at Moisty Mire were insane. They are almost as good as the old loot runs which we used to have with the pirate ship and the cannons. So I think a lot of people would use it for gaining max, depending on what stage they put Moisty Mire in. We don't know how they're going to introduce Moisty Mire. As we know, Moisty Mire did actually have a few changes. We had the change during season 4, and that kind of changed it for its lifespan, because the lifespan of Moisty Mire hasn't been very long. It was only in the game for 4 seasons. We've actually had Paradise Palms in the game for longer than Moisty Mire, with Paradise being in the game for a total of 6 seasons. So returning Moisty Mire would be absolutely awesome, and obviously Moisty Mire itself has some amazing runs for wood if it gets returned in its stage of kind of like filming / production, or if it goes back to its OG form. It still does have a good amount of wood, but not as much as it was when it was in its filming stage. Or it could get its brand new feel / look to it. They've only really done that with one location, and that being Tilted Town. I don't really count the Rift Beacon at the football stadium. It's kind of removed an OG point of interest because it just went completely wrong. And, well, they've done it twice. They've done it with, obviously, Tilted Town and the Cube Island. The Cube Island was completely messed. I'm still so happy that Fatal Fields didn't get destroyed. It still remains. But, yeah, you can see that the Cube Island came back. But it also brought back part of Motel, completely glitched out. It brought back a bunch of missing items. For example, the Welcome to Lonely Lodge sign, the Durburger, and the Motel sign. I think what would be really cool if we see this Cube Island fly around the map and kind of like be a taxi and drop off all its things to the correct locations. So it goes, firstly, it goes to the Durburger, replaces that maybe at Greasy Grove with this Durburger, then it heads over to Motel and puts down the Motel, then it heads over to Lonely Lodge, drops off Lonely Lodge, and then even heads over to Noms. Even though Noms and I guess Durburger are still on the map, I think it would be pretty cool to see. But that's it for today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Don't forget to go and smash that like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new around here, stick around for daily Fortnite content. It means the absolute world to me if you guys could smash that subscribe and keep up to date with all the latest Fortnite map changes and storyline content. Hope you guys have enjoyed. And once again, this is Postbox Pat, signing out.